In 2009, a researcher found execution orders for a woman who died in 1943, then received a letter from that same woman, now 94 years old. For 76 years, Katharina Vogel had been hiding from the people she'd tried to save. The file shouldn't have existed. Dr. Sophia Hartmann stood in the climate-controlled basement of the German Federal Archives, holding a folder marked Vogel Protocol, Eyes Only, 1943. She'd found it misfiled behind routine Wehrmacht supply records, sealed with red wax that cracked like old bones when she broke it. Inside were execution orders. Katharina Vogel, female, age 27, charged with treason against the Reich, espionage, conspiracy. The sentence had been carried out October 22, 1943 at Plötzensee prison. Firing squad at dawn. But there was something wrong. Sophia had been researching German intelligence operations for 5 years. She knew the patterns, the bureaucratic precision of Nazi record-keeping. Execution files always included witness statements, body disposal records, personal effects inventories. This file had the orders, nothing else, just a single sheet stating Katharina Vogel had been eliminated. Her phone buzzed, a text from her mother. Cleaning out Oma's apartment, found something you should see. Sophia's grandmother had died 3 weeks ago at 98. She'd worked with the Berlin resistance during the war, but never spoke about it. The silence had been absolute, the kind that suggested trauma too deep for words. That evening, Sophia drove to her grandmother's apartment in Kreuzberg. Her mother met her at the door holding a small leather journal, the pages yellowed and brittle. It was hidden inside her mattress. I almost threw it away. Sophia opened it carefully. Her grandmother's handwriting, young and uncertain, dated April 1945. Most entries were mundane, ration cards and air raid schedules. But the final entry, written just days before the war ended, made Sophia's hands shake. The Vogel woman saved us all. They said she died, but I saw her after. In Prague, 1946. She was alive. She made me promise never to tell. Said it was safer for everyone if she stayed dead. I kept that promise until now. Someone should know the truth. Sophia looked at her mother. Did Oma ever mention this name? Katharina Vogel? Never. But the last week before she died, when the morphine made her confused, she kept saying, "Find the songbird." We thought it was the dementia. Sophia drove back to the archives that night. She pulled every file mentioning Katharina Vogel, Admiral Canaris, Abwehr operations in London. By dawn, she'd found 3 separate intelligence reports referencing an agent codenamed Songbird. The reports ended abruptly in October 1943, the same month Katharina Vogel was supposedly executed. Sophia made a list of places to search next. London, MI6 historical records. Plötzensee prison archives. The Swiss banks where spies kept their contingency plans. Someone had gone to enormous trouble to make Katharina Vogel disappear. Sophia was going to find out why. Munich in July 1938 was a city pretending normalcy while the world held its breath. Katharina Vogel sat in the Hofbräuhaus nursing a beer she didn't want, watching the man who would change her life approach her table. Fräulein Vogel? Admiral Wilhelm Canaris looked nothing like a spymaster. Short, white-haired, almost grandfatherly. Your linguistics professor recommended you, says you speak 5 languages fluently. 6, if you count Latin. Katharina kept her voice steady despite her pounding heart. Latin won't help us much, he sat without invitation. But English, French, and Russian certainly will. Your country needs people like you, educated, sophisticated, loyal. Katharina thought about her cramped apartment, her dead-end job translating technical manuals, her dreams of Oxford slowly dying from lack of money. What exactly would I be doing? Serving Germany in ways most people never know about. Gathering information, building relationships, protecting the fatherland from those who wish us harm. Canaris pulled out a folder. You'd start with 6 months training, then an assignment in London. Good salary, excellent prospects. She should have said no, should have seen the darkness already gathering over Germany. But she was 22, and broke and tired of being invisible. When would I start? 3 weeks later, she was at a training facility outside Berlin, learning tradecraft from men with dead eyes. How to follow someone without being noticed. How to photograph documents. How to lie so smoothly you believed it yourself. The other trainees were mostly men who treated her like a novelty. But Katharina was better than them, faster at codes, smoother at social engineering. It was during her 8th week that she saw Professor Lindemann. He'd taught her Russian literature at university, introduced her to Tolstoy and Dostoevsky, treated her like she had a mind worth developing. Now he was being dragged across the training facility courtyard by 2 SS officers, his face bloodied, his yellow star torn but still visible. Katerina started toward him instinctively. Her training officer caught her arm. "He's a Jew. This doesn't concern you. He's a professor. He's done nothing wrong. He exists. That's enough." The officer's grip tightened. "You need to decide right now, Katerina. Are you with us or with them?" She watched them throw Professor Lindemann into a truck, watched him look back at her, hoping she'd help. She stood there and did nothing. That night, alone in her barracks, she made herself a promise. She would serve Germany, but not this Germany. Not the one that made good men disappear. She just didn't know yet how to keep that promise. London in September 1939 felt like a city waiting for a funeral. Katerina arrived 3 weeks after Britain declared war on Germany, traveling on a Swiss passport that identified her as Marguerite Rousseau, daughter of a Basel banker. The cover was solid. She rented a flat in Kensington, joined a French-speaking social club, and began infiltrating diplomatic circles. Her handler, a German embassy official named Dieter, met her monthly in Hyde Park. She'd pass him photographs, reports on troop movements, gossip from parties where diplomats drank too much. She was good at it. Within 6 months, she had access to Foreign Office officials, military attachés, even a junior minister who couldn't resist her combination of beauty and apparent innocence. She told herself she was protecting Germany. The lies got easier each time. Then one morning in March 1940, 2 men were waiting in her flat. She came home to find them sitting in her kitchen drinking her tea. "Miss Rousseau," the older one said. "Or should I say Miss Vogel? I'm Colonel Peter Thornton, MI6. We need to talk." Katerina's training kicked in. Deny everything. But Thornton pulled out photographs and spread them across her table. Concentration camps, mass graves, children starved to skeletal shadows. "This is what you're serving," Thornton said quietly. "This is what your intelligence enables." "British propaganda," Katerina managed. "We wish it were. We have witnesses, German officers who defected rather than participate. This is real, and it's going to get worse." Thornton lit a cigarette. "You have a choice. Continue working for Berlin, and we arrest you tonight. You hang as a spy, or you work for us. Feed them false information, help us end this war before millions more die. You want me to betray my country. I want you to betray a regime that's betrayed everything your country stood for." Thornton pushed the photographs closer. "Look at them again. Then tell me which side of history you want to be on." Katerina looked. Saw Professor Lindemann's face in every victim. "What do I have to do?" "Exactly what you've been doing, but for us. Your handler trusts you. Feed him intelligence we provide. Photograph documents we give you access to. Wait for our signal to come home. If they catch me, they won't. You're too valuable to both sides. That's what will keep you alive." He was wrong about that. But Katerina wouldn't know it for 3 more years. Sophia found James Thornton in a Surrey nursing home 2019, staring at rain-soaked gardens. He was 78, his mind still sharp. "You want to know about Songbird?" he said before Sophia could introduce herself. "My grandfather's letters mentioned her obsessively." He pulled out a wooden box filled with letters, all signed with a small drawn bird. Grandfather kept everything, against regulations, but he knew someday someone would need to understand. James handed Sophia a letter dated June 1942. Songbird reported U-boat positions, warned of convoy attacks, detailed Rommel's movements. The intelligence was extraordinary. "She was inside Abwehr headquarters in Berlin," James explained. "Had access to everything. For 3 years, she fed us intelligence that changed the war. V2 sites, Wehrmacht deployments, even Hitler's schedule." "What happened to her?" James's face darkened. "Someone in London sold her out." October 1943. Her entire network was arrested in one night. 7 women, all executed within a week. He handed Sophia another letter, dated November 1943, written in Peter Thornton's shaking hand. "They killed her, all of them. David Ashford, our OSS liaison, sold them to the Germans for £50,000. Songbird sent a final message before her arrest. She knew about Operation Valkyrie, the plot to kill Hitler. She knew we told them to stand down. That we wanted Hitler alive long enough to bleed Germany dry. Ashford couldn't risk her exposing that. So he burned her." Sophia looked up. Operation Valkyrie failed in July 1944. It failed because we wanted it to fail. British intelligence knew about it months ahead. Songbird worked with the conspirators, trying to broker peace terms. But Churchill wanted unconditional surrender. A successful coup would have ended the war too early, left Germany strong enough to resist Soviet expansion. So you sacrificed them to keep the war going? Someone in my sex made that calculation. 7 women died to protect British interests. James showed her Ashford's bank record. £50,000 deposited October 12, 1943. 3 days before Songbird's arrest. Did your grandfather find proof she survived? James smiled sadly. He spent 20 years looking. Deed in 68 still searching. He handed her a final letter, no postmark, hand-delivered. This arrived after her supposed execution. I'm alive, don't look for me, tell no one. Some birds sing better in the dark. The one who betrayed us will answer someday. Thank you for trying to save us. Goodbye, Peter. He kept this secret his whole life, told only me. James looked at Sophia. She's still out there, isn't she? I think so, Sophia whispered. And I think she's been waiting for someone to tell her story. Berlin in December 1940 was drunk on victory. Katerina returned from London decorated as a hero, earning the Iron Cross and a promotion. Admiral Canaris pinned the medal himself. You've served Germany well, he said quietly. Then softer, be careful. The SS is watching everyone now. Her new assignment was Abwehr headquarters, analyzing British intelligence, perfect cover, access to everything. But it meant daily contact with her new handler, SS Sturmbannführer Ernst Keller. Keller was everything Canaris wasn't. Young, ambitious, cruel, transferred from the Gestapo to root out traitors. His office displayed photographs of people he'd interrogated, faces twisted in agony. Fräulein Vogel, he said at their first meeting, very impressive record, almost too impressive. How does a linguistics student become our best source so quickly? Hard work and luck. I don't believe in luck. I believe in competence and betrayal. We'll be working closely together. I look forward to understanding which category you fall into. Katerina knew she was being tested. Every document she photographed might be bait. She became obsessively careful, varying routines, using her hidden radio only when necessary. At a Wehrmacht Christmas party, she met Heinrich Müller, a captain with kind eyes and a pianist's hands. They talked about music, about Berlin before the war, everything except work. You're not like the others, he said. Everyone here is so certain. You look like someone who knows we're building something terrible. She should have walked away, but Heinrich saw her. Really saw her. They became lovers by January. He'd hold her after her radio transmissions while she shook from fear she couldn't show anyone else. He never asked what frightened her. But Heinrich had secrets too. I have troop movements, he whispered one night in February 1941. Operation Barbarossa. We're invading the Soviet Union in June. 3 million men. Heinrich, how do you know this? Because I'm helping plan it. He pulled out maps, deployment schedules, and I'm giving it to you because this war will kill us all. If Britain and Russia know what's coming, maybe they can prepare. Katerina photographed everything. This intelligence would save millions of Soviet lives. It would also doom German soldiers who'd never chosen this war. Why? She asked. Because my brother was shot in Poland for refusing to execute civilians. Because I've seen the orders for Russia. Mass killings, starvation. We're not soldiers anymore. We're murderers in uniform. She transmitted the Barbarossa intelligence. That night, British intelligence passed it to Stalin. He ignored the warnings. The invasion happened exactly as predicted. By December, 700,000 Germans were dead in the snow outside Moscow. Katerina held Heinrich while he cried for his friends dying in the cold. He never knew she'd tried to save them. Never knew she was why Britain hadn't made peace. She wondered if he'd forgive her. Sophia's breakthrough came in a Munich archive, 2019, in Gestapo files sealed for decades. A single page listing 7 women arrested October 15, 1943, all charged with espionage, all executed within 5 days. The names meant nothing at first, but next to each was a notation. Sparrow Network, Songbird Handler. Katerina hadn't worked alone. She'd built a network of women, where no one paid attention to them. Secretaries, translators, communications officers who saw every classified message. 7 women who'd fed intelligence to Britain for 2 years. All arrested the same night. Sophia found Elsa Hoffmann's daughter in a Dresden nursing home. Margareta was 82, carrying her mother's execution for 76 years. I was 6 when they took her, Margareta said. The Gestapo came at dawn. She kissed me goodbye, told me to be brave. I never saw her again. Did she mention Katerina Vogel? Never. But after the war, a woman came to see me. Said my mother had been a hero, that she'd saved thousands of lives. She gave me this. Margareta showed a small silver pin shaped like a sparrow. Said all the women had them. Told me my mother wasn't a traitor. Who was this woman? She never gave her name, but she knew they'd been betrayed by someone in London, not Berlin. That the Gestapo had known exactly where to find them. Did she say who? A British officer named Ashford. He sold them for money, but there was more. They knew something about a plot to kill Hitler. Britain wanted that plot to fail, so they sacrificed the network. Why would Britain want Hitler alive? My mother asked the same thing in her last letter. Margareta showed it, written in pencil on toilet paper. We were heroes, and they killed us for it. The songbird will finish this. She's stronger than all of us. Do you know what happened to the seventh woman? Records show 6 executed, but the list has 7 names. Margareta leaned forward. Nightingale. She was never caught, deeper than the others. My mother said Nightingale was insurance, someone who'd survived to tell the truth. Who was she? I don't know. Whoever betrayed the network didn't know about her either. She's been out there all this time. Margaret touched the pin. The woman who visited me wore a pin too, but hers wasn't a sparrow. What was it? A nightingale. She was young then, maybe 30. If she's alive now, she'd be over 100. Sophia felt pieces clicking. 7 women, 6 executed, 1 survivor. Katerina seen alive after the war. A conspiracy reaching the highest levels. And somewhere, a woman who'd kept the secret for 76 years. Sophia had to find Nightingale before the last witness died. Berlin in July 1943 was suffocating. Allied bombs fell nightly, and among Wehrmacht officers, whispers began. Someone should kill Hitler. Katerina first heard it from Heinrich. There are officers who believe this war is lost, that Hitler will destroy Germany rather than surrender. They're planning something. Before she could respond, 3 precise knocks. Colonel Claus von Stauffenberg entered, elegant despite his injuries, the missing eye and hand. Fräulein Vogel. Captain Müller says you can be trusted. He spread maps on the table. July 20th, next year. We're gonna kill Hitler with a bomb at his headquarters. After he's dead, we activate Operation Valkyrie, transfer power, arrest the SS, negotiate peace. Why involve me? You have contacts in London. We need assurances that if we eliminate Hitler, they'll negotiate reasonable terms. Katerina transmitted the Voraböthing information that night. Plot to assassinate Hitler. July 20, 1944. Request terms for negotiated peace. The response came 3 days later. No negotiation possible. Unconditional surrender, regardless of regime change. Churchill believes continued war necessary to ensure complete German defeat and Soviet exhaustion. Do not encourage conspiracy. London wanted Hitler alive. Wanted Germany and Russia to bleed each other dry. The conspiracy had to fail because success would end the war too soon. Heinrich found her crying. What did they say? She told him everything. About being a double agent, about Britain's decision. You've been spying on us the whole time. I've been trying to end this war. By betraying Germany. By betraying Nazis. There's a difference. She grabbed his hands. I never lied about us. He pulled away. What will you tell von Stauffenberg? I don't know. Tell him the truth. That Britain won't help, that he's planning to die for nothing. Heinrich stood. But you won't, because London needs this conspiracy, even if it fails. He left that night. She never saw him alive again. 2 weeks later, Katerina met von Stauffenberg. Britain will consider terms if the coup succeeds, she lied. But move quickly. Von Stauffenberg smiled, relieved. You may have saved Germany. She smiled back, knowing she'd condemned him. London wanted the chaos of a failed coup. That night she transmitted again. I've done what you asked. When this fails, and it will because you're not supporting it, you'll have blood on your hands. And so will I. The response was cold. Sentiment is a luxury we can't afford. Sophia found the evidence in Zurich, 2019, in bank records that should have been destroyed. A safety deposit box opened September 1943 by David Ashford, British intelligence. Monthly deposits from a Swiss account linked to German intelligence. £50,000 by October. First deposit, September 10th. Katerina's network exposed, October 15th. Final payment, October 20th. 3 days before her supposed execution. But Ashford hadn't acted alone. Sophia traced authorization for his classified access. It came from someone higher. She found the name in a memo dated August 1943. Sir William Bradford, Deputy Director of MI6. The same Bradford knighted after the war, who died peacefully in 1979, honored as a hero. Sophia pulled his service records. Buried in classified annexes was Operation Valkyrie, British Assessment and Response Protocol. Bradford had written it in June 1943. The German resistance plot to assassinate Hitler presents opportunity and risk. Success would end the war prematurely, leaving Germany intact. It would deprive the Soviet Union of the opportunity to weaken itself through continued conflict. Assessment: a failed assassination would be preferable. It would eliminate Wehrmacht leadership, demoralize the resistance, ensure the war continues to Allied advantage. Recommendation: monitor conspiracy but provide no support. Sophia felt sick. Bradford had deliberately sabotaged the plot to kill Hitler. A handwritten note was stapled to the memo. Songbird has made contact with Valkyrie conspirators. She's transmitted doubts about our commitment. Assessment: Songbird has become a liability. She knows our strategy and may expose it. Recommendation: burn the Sparrow network. Use Ashford as intermediary. German intelligence will eliminate them, removing our liability. Bradford had murdered 7 women to cover up his decision. Sophia called James Thornton. I found who ordered it, Sir William Bradford. James was quiet. Bradford gave the eulogy at my grandfather's funeral. I shook his hand. Your grandfather knew, didn't he? He suspected. But Bradford was untouchable. Peter tried to investigate, got threatened with treason charges. That's why he kept the letters hidden. Did Bradford know Katerina survived? If he did, he spent 36 years looking for her. He was terrified she'd surface with evidence. I need to find what evidence she had. James smiled. My grandfather always said the best hiding place is the truth. Hide among people who know your story but don't believe it. Sophia thought about her grandmother's journal. I saw her in Prague, 1946. I need to go to Prague. Be careful. Intelligence services protect their own, even decades later. After they hung up, Sophia received an anonymous email, an attachment, a photograph of her apartment, taken that morning. Her at her desk, visible through the window. We're watching. She should have stopped. But she thought about 7 women betrayed, about Katerina hiding for 76 years. Some truths were worth the risk. She booked a flight to Prague. Berlin, October 15, 1943. Katerina knew something was wrong the moment she left Abwehr headquarters. The street felt too quiet. She entered the cafe for her dead drop, placing the cigarette case with microfilm on the windowsill. Fräulein Vogel, Keller's voice behind her. Don't make a scene. 2 Gestapo officers flanked her. They dragged her to headquarters, to the basement where screams echoed. Keller spread photographs across the table. Her entire network, captured in surveillance. All 7 women. We arrested them an hour ago. Your entire network, gone. How? Your British friends told us. Officer Ashford, very cooperative. For £50,000, he gave us everything. Betrayed by London. Why? The British decided you'd become inconvenient. Something about a conspiracy against Hitler they wanted to fail. You knew too much. He leaned close. You have a choice. Broadcast false intelligence, or you and your network face execution. Execute me. I won't betray them twice. Keller struck her. We'll see how noble you feel after a few days here. Hours later, a guard shoved Heinrich into her cell. His face was bruised, blood on his uniform. Heinrich, I'm sorry. He sat for Heinrich, against the far wall. They showed me everything. You used me. I was trying to end the war. You encouraged the conspiracy knowing London wouldn't support it. You sent von Stauffenberg to his death. He was right. They're executing me at dawn. Keller said you'd be watching. Heinrich, please, just tell me you loved me. I did. I do. Then that's enough. They took him at dawn. Katerina heard the shots. She screamed until her throat was raw. Keller visited that afternoon. Müller died well. Said he forgave you. He tossed a document down. Your execution is October 22nd. Unless you change your mind, I'll never work for you. I didn't think so. He paused. Your British friends are letting Hitler live. The Valkyrie plot will fail because they want it to. Millions more will die. And you helped them. After he left, Katerina sat in darkness. She'd tried to play both sides and failed both. Got everyone killed. 7 women would die because of her. Heinrich was dead. The conspiracy would fail. On October 22nd, she'd be ready. Death would be mercy. But Katerina had never been good at following other people's plans, not even her own execution. Sophia arrived in Prague, 2019, following breadcrumbs across decades. At Czech National Archives, the archivist Eva seemed unsurprised. You're looking for the Vogel woman. Third person this year. Who else? British intelligence. And an elderly German woman who wouldn't give her name. Eva pulled out a folder, a transport document dated November 1943. Prisoner transfer from Plötzensee to Theresienstadt. Name, Katharina Vogel. But there was no arrival record at the camp. The transport was intercepted. A guard named Joseph Novak was executed in December 43 for aiding prisoner escapes. The transport was rerouted through areas where Czech resistance was active. Eva wrote an address. Anna Kovar was in the resistance. Tell her you're looking for Songbird. Anna's apartment was 4th floor. The door cracked open, ancient eyes peering out. Frau Kovar? I'm looking for Songbird. My grandmother was Margareta Hartmann, Berlin Resistance. The door opened. Anna was tiny but fierce. I knew her. Come in. Inside, Anna studied Sophia. She told you about Vogel? She left a journal saying she saw Katharina alive in 46. The Vogel woman came to us November 43, half dead from torture. Josef Novak got her out, substituted another body. He was caught later, executed. She survived? We hid her until war's end. Both German and British intelligence looking for her. She told us everything about being betrayed by London. Anna pulled out a box. She gave me this for anyone asking the right questions. Inside, a key and photograph. Katharina, gaunt, with resistance fighters. March 45. Where did she go? West, eventually. Stayed until 46 hunting war criminals. When communists took over, she left. The key? Bank vault in Vienna. Evidence proving British intelligence betrayed her network. Anna touched Sophia's hand. But Katharina chose to stay dead. Some secrets are so dangerous their keepers must disappear. Is she alive? Haven't seen her since 48. But letters come, no return address. Last one 2 months ago said, someone's looking for truth, help them if worthy. Sophia's phone rang. Her mother. Someone broke into Oma's apartment, tore it apart, didn't take anything. Sophia looked at the key. Someone had been watching for 76 years. She booked a train to Vienna. Vienna led to a bank that asked no questions. The vault manager examined the key. Box 742, maintained since 46. Inside, microfilm, a tape, and a note. If you've found this, I'm dead or too old to fight. Everything proves what British intelligence did. Find Nightingale. She's been watching. Signed, K. The microfilm was damning. Bradford's orders. Ashford's bank records. Radio transcripts showing manipulation. Photographs of executed women. The tape was worse. Bradford and 44. Ashford discussing the network like chess pieces. Songbird knows too much about Valkyrie. Better to burn them. Blame German counterintelligence. Murder, not war. Her phone rang. Elderly woman. German accent. You've found the evidence. There's a hospice south of Salzburg. Come alone, quickly. Are you Katharina? Come and see? The hospice overlooked snow peaks. The woman in bed was ancient, blind. Sit. You sound like your grandmother, Margareta. You remember her? 46 Prague. She helped me understand I could stay dead. You're Katharina Vogel. I was. Now just an old woman dying, she smiled. You found the evidence? Everything. Good. 76 years I've carried that. She coughed. I tried exposing it twice. Journalists died. Bradford had too much power. I had to outlive them. What do you want? Tell the truth, all of it. Bradford believed he served a greater good. Pragmatists are more dangerous than monsters. Katharina reached out. Sophia took her hand. I loved Heinrich. He died because I lied. The women trusted me and I got them killed. We tried to stop something terrible, and made it worse. You saved thousands, and extended a war that killed millions. She paused. Nightingale's been watching. She'll contact you when you publish. She has the final piece. Final piece? What British intelligence did after to keep the secret. The people they killed. Nightingale documented everything. Her breathing grew shallow. Promise me, Katharina whispered. Remember, we were just women trying to do right. Human, complicated, flawed. I promise. Then I can sleep. Tell Heinrich, I'm sorry. Tell him I loved him. Katharina died 3 hours later, whispering names of the dead, but at least she told her story. Berlin, December 2019. Sophia stood before press. Katharina's evidence projected behind her, Bradford's memos. Recordings. proof 7 women were sacrificed. The Sparrow Network was betrayed not by Germans but by the people they helped. Because they knew about Britain sabotaging the Hitler assassination. After, she received a package, silver Nightingale pin and USB drive. The files were meticulous, surveillance photos showing British intelligence hunting Katerina, reports of journalists who died investigating, financial records showing payments to keep her survival quiet, and a video dated November 2019. An elderly woman in shadows. Miss Hartman, you've published Katerina's evidence. But that's half. I was the 7th member, the one they never found. She leaned into light. Sophia recognized the face from history. My name is irrelevant. I was inside British intelligence after the war. They didn't know who I was. I watched them hunt Katerina 30 years. Documented every murder disguised as accident. She held up a folder. This proves Bradford ordered deaths of 4 journalists between 54 and 72. I'm 98. I've spent 7 decades documenting their crimes. The pin belonged to Elsa Hoffman. Now I'm passing it to you. Nightingale had been inside British intelligence all along, gathering evidence for 76 years. Within weeks, investigations sparked. Bradford's knighthood was revoked. Britain issued apologies. It wasn't enough, but it was something. 6 months later, Sophia stood at a Berlin memorial. 7 names carved in stone. She placed the Nightingale pin at the base. That evening, a final email. Thank you for remembering us. Some birds sing in daylight, some in darkness. Both songs matter. We can rest now. Sophia never discovered Nightingale's identity, but sometimes at dusk, she thought she heard it. A nightingale singing in shadows, mournful and triumphant. Katerina had paid the ultimate price. But she'd won. The truth survived. Not justice, not revenge, but memory. 7 women remembered. 7 names spoken. 7 lives that mattered. In Vienna, an elderly woman turned off news about the memorial. She touched the sparrow pin on her lapel and smiled. She poured tea, opened poetry. Outside, a nightingale sang. Some secrets die with their keepers, others outlive them. Carried by strangers who understand the dead deserve their stories told. The Sparrow Network had sung in darkness for 3 years. 76 years later, the world finally heard their song. If stories of courage, sacrifice, and secrets buried for generations move you, don't forget to leave a like and share in the comments where you're watching from. These forgotten heroes deserve to be remembered.